guys, Gary Box here. So I wanted to share something with you today. I'm getting ready to do some headshots, and I wanted to talk to you about clamshell lighting and how to meter and set up for clamshell lighting. So clamshell lighting is when you have a light over and under, so it's like a clamshell like this is where it gets its name. Now, if you're going to do clamshell lighting, I really recommend as a light stand that you use one of the like the sidekick type of stands that's kind of off center. So this way you can put your camera lens right here in between the two lights and you don't have the pole in the middle. The pole is offset like this. So I'm using here two Molite 8400s with small softboxes on it on a kickstand. Another nice thing about these stands is you can buy a second handle so you can put both lights onto one stand just like this. But let's talk a little bit about metering these lights. So it is very, very important that your top light be slightly brighter than your bottom light. Half a stop at least, and probably no more than a full stop for a lot of it. So we're going to meter our lights individually, and then we're going to meter them combined together. So I'm going to start here. I have A and B groups. So I'm going to turn A off, and I just want to meter B here, okay? All right. I have F11. That's quite a bit too bright. I probably want this to be more like about 5, 6.5. So let's turn this baby down. 5, 6, 9. I'm getting close. 5, 6, 2. I'm gonna bump it back up 1/3 of a stop. Okay, so I have 5, 6, 5 on my bottom light. Now I need to meter my top light, and I want to make sure that it's half a stop or slightly over that brighter than this. So I'm now going to turn off my bottom light and turn on my top light. Okay, and we're going to meter it. Okay, so that's 807. That's quite a bit too bright. So let's turn that one down. I'd like it to probably be about 802. There's 805. 801. Let's go ahead and we'll go to 805, okay? And so I've got them to where I've got 565 and 805 separately. Now I want to go ahead and combine them to get my camera exposure. So I'm turning both of the lights on. And I'm metering 808. So I'm going to be shooting this at about F10 is where I'm going to shoot because I am at F8 and 8/10 of a stop. So I'm going to shoot at F10. This is going to give me great light, and I will put a sample image in here of exactly what the finished light looks like. Beautiful catch lights in the eyes, but again, you got to make sure that this light is half a stop to one stop over the bottom and you definitely don't want the bottom light to be brighter than the top. And that's why you have to meter them separately. Now let's talk about the background that I'm using here. So first of all, I want to go light gray, and I have a little bit of a spot on it right here. So I have no other light on the background, and I want it to go light gray. But here's the thing, if I have this light too close, it's going to carry over and light the whole background. Okay, so that's why I'm actually working way out here to the front, so I'm at least 12, 14 feet from the background. That way my background is going to go a little underexposed, and my white is going to turn into kind of a medium gray. And that's all because of our inverse square law. If our lights are closer, they fall off slowly. Okay, so it's going to light all that, but by putting my light further away, the further away it is, the faster the light will fall off. So that's going to make the overall light background gray. Now for the spotlight, I'm using a Molite 8300 with a Fresnel spotlight attachment. Okay, you can zoom these Fresnel lights. Hang on, I just messed up my light stand. Okay, so let's look at how we can do this. I'm going to turn off the overhead so you can really see this. Alexa, turn off the studio lights. Okay, so with this spot, I can turn this and I can make a large spot or I can make a smaller spot. I want this to be a smaller, tighter spot that's going to be like right behind their head. Alexa, turn on the studio lights.
Okay.
Okay, so now I need to meter this background light because I want this to go closer to white here. When metering our lights in studio, one of the things that we always do is our fill light establishes a low and our main light establishes a high. So if we are at 5, 6.5, 8.5, okay? If we're at 5, 6.5, and 8.5, any secondary lights, which would be a background light, a hair light, a kicker light, etc., are typically going to fall in between those two values. So we want our background light to be somewhere in between 5.6.5 and 8.5. It's totally to taste, but again, all secondary lights are typically going to be no less than your fill and no more than your main. So if I have 8.5 here, but I put a hair light on that's metering F11.5, it's going to be way too bright. Okay? So remember that. Your fill is your low, your main is your high. All secondary lights are going to be to taste in between that low and that high as a general rule. So now I want to be able to meter this spot right here. Okay? And I have 805. That's equal to my top. I think I'm going to turn it down maybe just a third of a stop here. Okay, 803. I think I'm really good with that. That's going to give me an almost white spot that fades out to a light gray. Okay? And this is basically our setup. So we've talked a little bit about how to do our clamshell lighting and metering, as well as how we're going to get that little bit of a spot on the background that gradients out into a light gray. So I'll actually find an image that I've shot with this exact setup and be able to put that in and give you an idea of how it looks like in the end. Okay? Thanks a lot, guys.